Be part 2 of the Trail 70 video. Last video we were trying to get spark and couldn't get it, but I messed with it a little bit since then, and I ended up re-cleaning the points, and I put a new coil on it, and I cleaned the magneto or the flywheel again and everything, and it magically got spark. So I got a new spark plug for it too. So now I'm gonna clean the carburetor in this video, hopefully get everything back together, put some gas in it, and hopefully it'll fire. Carburetor. Okay, I got my gasket kit here. Came with the filter and everything, so I'm gonna start turning this carburetor down and see what we got. The carburetor all back together. There's some extra gaskets. I'm wondering if it's for an extra kit, maybe, because it was kind of a not a universal. It's for this TT70, but there's also several different bikes it was listed for. So there's probably just extra O-rings. But I'm gonna double check and make sure the throttle cable doesn't need one, or the throttle slide, I mean. So, but it's ready to go back on. Gas in it, got the carburetor on it, new fuel line, new spark plug. So now we're gonna go for the first start here. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so I ended up getting all my bikes back to my shop where my house is, and I think I had 4 bikes at the lot. I got more bikes too, so I got a few more that aren't in here right now. They're in my other garage. But so basically, what ended up happening, we tried starting it. I'll probably put a couple clips of that in there, whether it's before or after this. But we tried starting it. It started up for just a second, and then it would die out real quick. So fast forward, 3-4 days later, maybe a week later. It's been a minute now, but got it here in the garage. It started for a second last night. The longest it's run was like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. It wasn't that long, but that's the longest it's run so far for me. So I don't know if it's carburetor or fuel. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit. If I figure something out, pick up the camera, but I'm hoping to have this part 2 video, have it running, and I don't know if I'll drive it yet. It's 30 degrees outside, and it's only gonna get colder the rest of the week. So hopefully I can at least get a part 2 going, and then I'll be able to post that. And then for part 3, I guess I could drive it maybe, but I will be selling it anyway. So, but I got other bikes too, so I'm debating on making videos with a couple of them. Some of the other 3, I think I got 2 or 3 others that aren't in here, and I'm thinking about doing something with them. But one bike I got is this old, I bought it at the swap meet, Trail 70 H model. So it's a 3-speed, 4-speed manual. I don't know for sure, but it is the definition of a barn find. It looks good in video so far, but it's real dusty. But I got that bike, and I got this one over here. This is my nicest one from the same guy who got over 100 bikes in his collection. So I may have mentioned that in the part 1 video. I can't remember for sure, but so I might do something with that. I thought it'd just be cool to put up on the wall or something. I didn't pay very much for it. So, but let me dig into this and get back to the camera. Okay, so what I ended up doing, just to check real quick as far as fuel delivery goes, I undid the reserve line. There's on and reserve. So reserve, obviously I'll check that because it goes from the bottom of the tank. And I was noticing there wasn't really any fuel coming out. I noticed this the other day too, but I didn't really think much of it. It's got an on and an off on the fuel cap. And it didn't matter if I turned it, for this little thing here turns. And it's like I guess a vent release, I'm assuming. So it'll let fuel go in or out, go out. And it didn't make any difference. So I took the cap off. And I did this the other day too. And it just starts pissing out fuel. So I got it opened up. It's getting fuel now because I opened up the little screw for the bottom of the bowl to let fuel out. So I think it wasn't a whole lot, but then again, I don't think a lot comes out of this anyways. It looks really nasty, but I did put new fresh fuel on it. So I don't know if that's enough, a big enough stream for it to, you know, fill up the bowl or not, and, you know, keep it full. So I'm just gonna try to start it, see what happens. I know it'll start for a second at least, it always does. But we're gonna see if it'll stay running. So let me get this set up somewhere where you can see it. Got you set up on my trash can. Alright. Plug was a little wet. Dried it in. I dried it off. Let me keep digging here. Okay, it didn't have spark. I rechecked it. Fuel delivery looks okay. It now has spark. I have a bunch of bare wires at the top and I forgot to cap them off. And they were hitting the frame, so it was grinding itself out. So let's see if it'll start now. Go for 500. Please start. Wow. She runs perfect. Got an exhaust leak. She's a runner. Thank you. I'll open this up. It's snowing. Oh, my camera's messed up. Okay. She's smoking. I'm gonna adjust the carburetor real quick. Okay, I didn't really get to tune it because it's 30 degrees out here and I don't think it's gonna matter. I gotta wait till it's probably 60 degrees, maybe. I don't know. I can't do it in my garage because my garage is too small and it stinks it up real quick. So, what I'm gonna do is put her back together, put the seat and everything back on it, and put some tape on them wires. I'm not putting the battery back in it because I'm not going to spend the extra money for the battery, which I know they're probably 20 bucks for a battery, but it doesn't need a battery to run. All it needs is for the light, so I'm not going to mess with that. I don't know if the lights work or not, so I guess I can figure that out another day. But I'm going to work on getting it back together real quick. Got to clear out the shop first. It's better now. I got all the doors open, but get a lot of smoke out of here and get ready for the next bike. Okay, time to get her back together. I might fast forward this, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna start piecing her back together. Okay, got her all buttoned back up for the most part. Put some little twisties in here to hold the wiring in place. Only thing that really, I don't know if that latches or not. Evidently not, unless I'm not pushing hard enough. Only thing I really don't like is this seat got that big old chunk right here. So I thought about reupholstering it, but then I thought you put a new seat cover on there, it's gonna make the rest of the bike, you know, just not look right. So I need to get her wiped down. This is kind of a pain, but got the intake and everything back on there. What else did I do? That little shield's on there. I got all these buttoned up. Everything down there is buttoned up. So, not a bad little bike. I gotta see what I have in it now. I didn't put that much in it, but I don't know. Probably get a couple grand out of it, maybe. I'm not sure yet. But next, I got this orange bike over here, and it is really nice. So, probably it's the nicest one I've ever had. I've had, I think, six of them, maybe. I can't, 6 or 7, maybe. I can't remember, but that orange was my nicest one. So that'll probably be it for part 2. I don't know if there'll be a part 3 or not, but so that'll be it for part 2. Hopefully I'll have a part 3 out, within a couple weeks or so. I'm gonna wait till the weather warms up so I can get it tuned in properly. Because it just wasn't. I had it out in the cold and it started bogging down a little bit. So I don't know if it's got something to do with the cold or maybe carburetor's not cleaned all. I don't know, but it sure does run good. And I got to look at this exhaust too. So, but yeah, that'll be it for part 2. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you watching. And I will be posting more videos.